G'day guys, welcome back to the Funk Yard. First off, I want to thank everybody for their birthday wishes. They meant a lot, and yeah, so many messages and posts on the Facebook. Yeah, thank you very much. I had a great birthday. I worked through the day, but yeah, I had some great experiences, and yeah, it was an interesting week really. To be honest, I struggled a little bit early on in the week. I had my Pfizer jab, and yeah, there was one night in particular. It was like a 24-hour period where I felt like I was under construction. Something was just going on in my body, and it just, yeah, obviously maybe a lot of antibodies being built and that sort of thing. But yeah, I struggled to sleep, and yeah, it was a pretty bad night really. I did get some sleep, but that was after some paracetamol, and yeah, but no, I've been fighting fit ever since. So obviously, you know, I expect these experiences to be different for everybody, depending on which vaccine you get to and all of that. But we're all different, and this isn't it's not really an invitation for people to debate getting a vaccine or not. You know, I'm just talking about my experience, and hopefully, you know, that offers something to you guys. You know, I'm feeling fighting fit now. I feel great. I have my next shot in about 3 weeks time, I think. So yeah, but my birthday week's been busy. I had a couple of auditions, you know, just commercials, but yeah, it was one of those days. You know, my first audition wasn't great. You know, as an actor, we all have these days or mornings, because after that audition, I went to another one and I nailed it. So got the job. You know, and it comes down to a lot of things. You know, I think these auditions, it's kind of like life really. You know, you can't expect to fit into everybody's, you know, mold or vision or whatever they want for their particular project in life, whatever that might be. You're not going to fit in all the time, guys, and that's okay. I guess one thing that acting has taught me, or you know, reinforced within me, is that yeah, you're not for everybody, and that's okay. You know, so all you can do is put yourself out there, and don't stop putting yourself out there. You know, you may have a negative experience or some rejection in life from some sector of life, work, whatever, but don't let that spoil, you know, your work or something that you love. You know, I love acting, and I want to keep doing it. And you know, like what I said to my agent a few weeks ago, I got a rejection from a role on TV, and they said, thanks for auditioning, but we're going in another direction. And that's fine. I said to my agent, I said, look, that's fine, I'll fit in somewhere down the line. And again, that's fine. You know, I'm just going to keep creative and keep creating stuff, and you know, nothing's going to stop me. You know, it's that old saying, they say, what do they say, you're either winning or you're learning. You know, I don't feel like I'm losing in life much nowadays. You know, everything's a learning opportunity, and I guess, you know, that's taken a while to establish for me. But you know, it's really like a gift you give yourself. You know, I think, you know, in my profession and in all professions in life, people really struggle with rejection, and I'm here to tell you guys, it's okay. You're just not meant to fit into every single thing. I'm glad you're an individual. I'm glad I'm an individual, and you know, I'm not going to get every gig that comes my way. You know, acting's like, you know, it's like 99% rejection. So, you know, there's so many people, you know, going for these same roles and whatever. So, you know, I have my moments. You know, like everybody. You know, I was listening to Bill Burr on, I think it was Life is Short, the Justin Long podcast, and he mentioned an audition that he had, and it just went really bad for him. And he was talking about these moments in the shower of just complete regret, and he just makes these noises like like this, and he, you know, so that's how he processes his these sort of these failures, you know, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I have my moments where I'm lying in bed and I'll think of something, oh, I could have done better on that or whatever, and I'll grunt. You'll actually, my wife will hear me grunt, and she's like, what are you thinking about now? Because she knows what that's all about. So it's funny, we all have our different ways of dealing with rejection or you know, a failure, you know. Yeah, I like to get my head back on straight and just have a better perspective. But occasionally, look, I'm as bad as anyone, you know. I'll really focus on you know, what could have happened and what I should have done better. But I mean, that's life, you know. We have to fail. Like I remember doing youth work and saying to a lot of these young guys that I was working with, like, I want you to fail. Like, I want you to stuff up. It's okay. You know, you get some of your best lessons in life through that. So don't be afraid to fail, guys. You know, it's important for your development, for fuck's sake. Anyway, I guess I just wanted to put that across to everybody. And also, look, identify some of the things that we grow up with. I mean, why do we think this way? You know, well, what is it? You know, the system has all these different mechanisms, and some of them work against us, and they guilt us and they shame us, you know, and it's really sad to think there's so many people out there that just think they're not good enough. And it's, you know, I'm seeing it a lot recently, a lot of people saying, you are good enough, you are good enough. And, you know, you can hear that all you want, but until you relate it to yourself in your own internal process, you know, it's not going to mean a lot. So I guess I'm encouraging everybody to try and get that process going, that internal dialogue or whatever you've got to do to be okay with yourself, to know that you are enough. And you know, life's not supposed to be about this judgment and this shame and this guilt that you put on yourself for simple failures. They're part of life, you know, they're part of growth, you know. So please, you know, detoxify that part of you, you know, because it doesn't belong there. You know, you don't need it. It's not worth anything. It's only going to make you feel like shit. So anyway, I hope you guys can relate to it. I'm sure you can. I'm going to show you a beer now and a record that I just purchased, which I'm really stoked with. In 1987, I first heard this album. I think the first song I probably heard, like a lot of people, is Love Removal Machine. If you've heard of that song before, you know the album that I'm talking about. It is the Cult Electric. This changed the course of history for me, this album. It's a type of rock and roll that I hadn't heard prior to it, which is crazy. You know, somebody introduced it to me, a friend of a friend, and I listened to it, and look, I started wearing black tight stretch jeans, and I got my first pair of black suede points and boot straps with rocket studs on them. I couldn't get rocket studs big enough, you know. So yeah, I love this album. It's been a while since I've listened to it, but I saw a good copy, an original pressing on Marketplace recently, and I snapped it up. I didn't even, you know, bargain with him. I was just like, yeah, if that's what it is, I'm going to grab it. And I've been enjoying it ever since, guys. It's well worth a listen. It is, it's just rock and roll. These guys, yeah, they just rock, and they're great. You will hear many yeahs in this album, and I think the Cult, Ian sings yeah better than anybody, I think. He just has a way, and he just puts it in there. Yeah, and you'll hear it in this song. I'm going to play King Contrary Man, and I think, yeah, you're going to dig it. I guess it's about, in a way, it's kind of, you know, reflecting and making new choices for yourself, which is kind of relative to what I've been talking about, I guess. Yeah, dig it. It's I guess there's a message in there. I don't know if it was the message that he intended, but I'm taking that, and I hope you enjoy it, guys. The beer today is Ubernaut Montrose Hop Oil IPA. I highly recommend this. This is a go-to for me. I go back to it fairly often. Very enjoyable. It's got that hop oil, you know, thing going on, It's a beautiful IPA. Anyway, cheers, and I hope you enjoy the song. I know I do.